Hey crew, welcome to episode 32 of the Golf Never Sleeps podcast. Hey gang, Coach Ryan Robart here, PGA Canada golf coach, and today's topic we are talking about clubhead speed. So many people want it. There's a lot of info out there. Drive for show, putt for dough, and some people think speed is good. Some people think speed is bad, and you can have too much. You can never have enough. And I'm going to provide some of my thoughts today, based on the concept that for many players now, they're really starting to ramp up around the fact that golf season is coming. And for some of you, you're starting to do your kind of off-season work and really kind of starting to get some reps in. And even for those of you that have been actively practicing throughout, this applies to you as well. So let's get into it. One of the things I very often hear from players is, I want to increase my clubhead speed, but I don't want to mess up my swing. That's the first thing that I want to tackle. And when we talk about increasing your clubhead speed, I think sometimes the confusion that some players have is just because we're trying to swing the golf club faster does not mean that your swing is going to deteriorate. The way that I explain it best is, if you want to train speed, that is fantastic. I'm all for it. But we cannot train your speed and your technique at the exact same time, especially when we're just getting started. And the reason why is because speed is a skill that you have to train. Similar to if you're trying to change your grip or improve your sequence. Those are little skills we have to train. Speed is a skill we have to train. So if you're looking to increase your clubhead speed, the first thing you need to do is you need to consider, when am I going to train speed relative to the amount of time that I have to practice? Now, in an ideal world, they would happen in separate sessions. But let's say you have no time and you just say, I want to try to increase my clubhead speed while in my current practice sessions. I think the first thing that you can do, and my first tip will be, you have to spend time dedicated to swinging as fast as you can. If you want your clubhead speed to go up, you have to swing faster than you normally do. That's like the most basic way we can do it. A lot of players have this thought that they need to get stronger to increase their clubhead speed, and I believe that is a very important component, right? You have to be physically able to increase your clubhead speed. I'm not debating that. But if you are, you have to spend time training at a very high rate of speed and testing yourself and pushing yourself to swing faster than you normally do. So the first thing that I would recommend, if you're that player that you've got no extra time, you're not interested in doing anything more, what I would say is, at the end of a practice session, let's say you're going to put aside 10 balls. You've done all your technical work, you've hit all your irons and that kind of stuff, you're about to hit drivers. Excuse me. What I would recommend is, before you hit that first ball, I want you to try to swing your driver as fast as possible 10 times. Technique out the window. The only thing we're trying to do is to get you to swing as fast as possible, whatever you have to do to make it happen. And then what we're going to do is, you're going to hit those 10 balls like you are Cal Berkshire in the World Long Drive Tour. Absolutely just trying to send them as far as you possibly can. And what we're doing in that small amount of time is we are putting our sole focus into trying to increase our clubhead speed. So I know I quickly went off on a little tangent there, but let's say right now, this is the person that has no time, or they don't want to add any time. And I mentioned this a little bit. I'll go back and preface this for all players, and sometimes I get this from even some of my current golfers. They want to increase clubhead speed, but they're battling injuries. In no circumstance am I recommending that if you're injured or if you're not capable to train, that you should be trying to increase your clubhead speed. That's my disclaimer. The next one is players asking, okay, can these tools help? Now, I'll come out and say it. I'm biased because I'm affiliated with Super Speed Golf, which is an overspeed training system. I've been working with Super Speed Golf since 2017, and I have seen hundreds and thousands of golfers increase their clubhead speed using Super Speed Golf. So for those of you that are looking to increase your clubhead speed, there are training aids out there that can help you do that. Hey, here's a little secret. Every week I send an email on Thursday mornings that gives you 3 things. It gives you 1 golf tip, it gives you 1 quote or stat, and gives you 1 little extra to help you play better golf and practice more effectively. To sign up, there's a link in my description. Make sure you get signed up because on Thursday morning, the next one's coming. The quick rundown on Super Speed Golf is it's 3 weighted clubs. 2 of them are lighter than your driver, and 1 of them is heavier than your driver. The goal of the training is in every training session, you will grab a club. You'll always work from the lightest to the heaviest in every single session. The reason why, when we give you something light, it reduces the load. And if I give you something lighter, by default, we're going to start to swing that faster than we normally do. I'm going to use round numbers, but let's say Mr. Jones swings his driver 100 miles an hour. When I give him the light club from the Super Speed set, he'll normally start to swing that around 115 to 120 miles an hour because it's lighter. And what is happening with every single rep that he's moving quicker, the body and the brain is starting to understand that he can move at this new speed safely. Because for so many players, it's not everyone has a governor on their golf swing or anything that we do, how fast you run, how fast you walk. Our brain has a governor that'll limit how fast we can do something because it believes it can do it safely. So if you want to start to remove that governor, we have to train fast. That's why we reduce the load. So you start with that light club, then you you work your way up to the medium club and then up to the heavy club. By the end of a Super Speed session, because we started light and gradually increased the load, by the end, you're going to be swinging something that's heavier than your driver faster. And that's where rubber meets the road on club head speed. We start really light to get your body to actually start physically moving faster. And then we start to reintroduce the load so that by the end, you're swinging something that's heavier than your driver faster. But we had to start light to get there. Super Speed and its protocols are very easy. They're very straightforward because, and I'll talk about this, we can't train speed for a very long period of time. You can't work on swinging driver at max speed for 3 hours. It doesn't work that way. A level 1 Super Speed protocol is 39 swings. And on average, you're going to finish that in roughly 10 or 15 minutes. And that includes your warm-up because we always have to warm up beforehand. So in those 39 swings, you're getting in, you're training with maximum intent to swing the club as fast as you can. And then you get on with your day. So far we've covered, we have the player who doesn't have any time and wants to hit the ball farther. We have the player who's looking for tools that can help them swing the golf club faster. I recommend Super Speed Golf. Now, some of the questions that I normally get is kind of going back to that first one, will it deteriorate my golf swing? If you look at the whole scope of golf, and I'll use the Super Speed example. Super Speed protocols is 39 swings, 3 times a week. That is 117, I think that's public math, 117 swings in a week. If you're going to the driving range 1 time a week, you're probably hitting a large basket of golf balls and you're almost making the same amount of swings when you're supposed to be focusing on your technique and then when you're supposed to be focusing on your speed. And as we go along, especially as we start to get into summer, and for those of you that are actively playing and training, the reason why I believe you can do both separately is because it's very, very rare that you're going to make more Super Speed swings than you are golf swings. If you're a player that's going to spend 6 months and the only thing you're going to do is swing at maximum club head speed and you're not going to train technical once, yes, there's a chance that your golf swing can deteriorate, but you have to consider what you're doing. If we find a balance, we can definitely do both at the same time. So as we move along now, players start to say, okay, Ryan, well, we're training speed. How do I fit that into my golf season? I play a lot of golf. I have a lot of different things going on. I'm busy. How do I fit this in? And this is a tricky conversation. And sometimes, honestly, I have this conversation with a lot of my players about a lot of different things. What's our priority? Let's say you're a player that you're tired of being the short hitter in your group and you want to commit to increasing your club head speed. Well, if you want to commit, that's going to take some time and that's going to take some planning. The thing that I always sometimes get frustrated with is when players say that they want to make a change, but they don't want to do anything differently. And it kind of drives me nuts where it's like, well, what do you expect? It's like the player that expects to get better without practicing. Same thing, right? You're not going to get any better if you're not actively training speed. So in a scenario, and through Super Speed, what we do is we kind of talk about maintenance phases and also how to navigate tournament season. Right now it's the middle of February. And for many of you, you can have 6-8 weeks before we get the nice weather. You can start training for speed today, several days a week, for 6 or 8 weeks, and you can see an increase in club head speed. And once you get in season, the only thing that we ask is that you train speed once a week to maintain it. Similar to a player who takes a lot of lessons, we work on a lot of drills and we hit a lot of golf balls. Once we get in season, I want that player to go play golf. But I still have an expectation that they're going to maintain their practice habits and work on their drills and different things that they're supposed to once a week to keep that part of their game in shape. Is there better times to train for speed? I believe so. And the reason why I believe the off season is a better time, because normally we have more time because you're not playing golf. If you're playing, let's say 27 holes a week, you're spending 6 or 7 hours playing golf. We're usually not replacing that time in the off season. It just becomes more time sitting down or hanging out. So that's why I believe the off season is better. But if you're a player that for whatever reason you don't have access to an indoor facility or you have low ceilings or whatever it is, I would still encourage you, don't use that as an excuse. You can train speed in the summer as well. You just have to sort your priorities. What is the goal? If your goal in 2024 is to hit the golf ball farther and to increase your club head speed, gain more distance, start. Decide if you're going to do it on your own in the driving range. Decide if you're going to get yourself an overspeed training system. Look at the time you have in your schedule. Make the time and the commitment to carve out the time to make it happen. When I'm actively training for super speed, I have to do it on weekday mornings at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. I don't have time in the afternoon, just when my schedule works out. But when I'm committed to doing it, that's what I have to do because I want to keep hitting the golf ball farther. So if this is the year, let's do something. You're deciding you're training for speed. I believe anyone can start at any time throughout the year. How are we going to train? I think for a lot of players, I recommend getting an overspeed training system like Super Speed to assist. And then look at your schedule and identify where can you plug in 2 or 3 15-minute sessions a week to actively start training. If you were to purchase a product today and start training for 6 weeks and you gain 5% club head speed, because that's what we see at Super Speed, in the first 6 weeks, we'll see an increase of approximately 5% in club head speed. You're going into the golf season swinging faster than ever, and you can maintain it through this upcoming golf season. And then as we get to the later end, then you can go into a full off season of actively training for club head speed on top of the gains you made this year. It's middle of February. Golf season's coming. The Super Bowl is done. Next big one coming up is the Masters. Let's get focused on increasing our club head speed. And if you want to do it, don't let any other reason hold you back unless you're injured or not able to do so. This has been episode 32 of the Golf Never Sleeps podcast. It's speed season. Go out there and get faster, and we'll see you next week.